Oh my god, guys, hi. Welcome back to my channel. I just finished filming another video and I look exactly the same and I'm in the same spot, so I'm so sorry, but I had to push these things out and get this shit done. In this video, we are going to be talking about Love is Blind. I know you guys all have been loving that content. I've been loving that content. I've been loving watching it, recording it, everything, and getting all that information out to you guys. Like, I'm obsessed, like creepily, probably obsessed as you guys are. In this video, we're going to talk about all the things that were right in Love is Blind. If you guys want me to make another video about all the things that were wrong with Love is Blind, make sure you hit the big thumbs up and make sure you guys comment below what you guys want me to do next, because I promise you I will do it. I could talk about this show for days. Let's just get right into this video. First things first, let's just talk about Lauren and Cameron, because we all know that they are my favorite couple. I've been posting about them every single day, probably 3 times a day. If you haven't seen any of that, make sure you guys go hit those videos and check that out before you watch this one. Cameron are everything. They are the epitome of love. They are the epitome of genuine love, not forced love, just genuine love. Like, you could see it from their first date. And I just want to make something very clear, okay? The way we see, and I really think that everybody already knows this, but I feel like I've been reading a lot of the comments that you guys have been leaving, and some of you guys are kind of just like confused about how they film these shows, how everything seems rushed. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it is really, really rushed, but it's not as rushed as people make it out to seem. Like, you need to think about how long they were there, how much information, how much footage they have to crimp into one episode for these like 6 couples. You got to think about it. So it is rushed, but it's not as rushed as everybody is making it seem. So it is kind of crazy. You can't judge these people and being in this situation and trying to find love or making connections with people until you're in that situation. And I'm just saying that because you can tell the relationships that were fake and you can tell the relationships that were real and genuine. And when I mean fake, I mean forced, or people that just wanted to try and find anything. Jessica. I just want to make that very, very clear. These things are really rushed. So when you say like, oh, Lauren found love after one day, it's like, okay, but they also filmed those little clips where they're talking about the episode. That is filmed like after the entire season. And you also have to understand that too. They're just summarizing everything that has happened in that whole week in that little clip, in that little interview in the show. And then they're showing like 30 seconds to 2 minutes of the conversation that they had. Give them a break. Even Jessica, honestly, give them all a break. Jessica's a crazy bitch, but let's just give her a break too, because realistically, chick was confused. Let's get back to Lauren and Cameron. So Lauren and Cameron were just genuine from the start. Lauren is a beautiful motherfucking human being, inside and out. Like, I'm all about vibes, and honestly, I feel like she'd be my best friend. Her vibe from the beginning, like the first interview and everything, like you could tell she was just a genuine person, and she just is happy. She was happy to be alone. She's happy to just put herself in a situation that is crazy. And then she was happy that she found someone. And then now she's just happy. She is just a beautiful person inside and out. And the fact that she found Cameron. Now, Cameron, everybody, you guys all have crushes on Cameron, okay? Everybody wants a Cameron in their life. Everybody wants them in their life, honestly. I want both of them in my life. Best friends forever. Like, let's rock. Let's ride till we die. Cameron is just another genuine soul. And I think it was fate. Like, honestly, I'm a firm believer in the universe, and I think this show is insane. But the fact that these two found each other in this show, and the fact that their parents have the same name, and the fact that they just connected so well. I mean, Cameron is very emotional, and I think that was actually good, because I think that Lauren really needed to see someone actually care about her as much as he did. Like, he loves that girl. Like, nothing is getting in between the love that he has for that girl. And let's just make that clear. And Lauren loves him, and it's just like, I get chills talking. I literally have chills right now talking about it, because it's just the cutest thing ever. Find yourself some love like them. Like, luckily I had that love. I think the reason why I'm so obsessed with them is because that's how I feel about my relationship, and it really is possible. I just want you guys to know that, like, your chance will come. If you're single right now and you're in a shitty relationship, like, that is a learning experience for you to get to the situation and position that you want to be in 2 years from now, 3 years from now, even a week from now. Honestly, you never know. Like, I met my girlfriend out of nowhere. I was not expecting to meet someone like her when I did. I met her on a dating app. You just don't know who you can meet at what time and when it will just happen. You guys have to keep faith, and synchronicity is one of the things I live by every day. And synchronicity is just meaningful coincidences. And what that means is, like, that show and Lauren and Cameron meeting in that instance, and their parents having the same name, and the love that you could just see radiates off of them, that was synchronicity. Like, that was meant to happen and they were there for a reason. Another thing about Lauren and Cameron, I want to talk about, finally are making a YouTube channel. And if you haven't seen my video about that, make sure you guys hit the link in the description because I'll link it in the bottom. I can't wait to watch that, and I hope you guys are excited to do that too. Once I find out what the YouTube channel is, I'll probably link it in another video that I'm going to be doing so that you guys can see their stuff hands-on, and also I can talk about it because I love to talk about them. Let's just talk about the dating scene. People used to frown upon meeting their people online, okay? Meeting people online was something I always wanted to do. Like, I was never the person that just wanted to meet people in person and just start dating them. I like to ask a lot of questions. I like to get to know someone really, really well before I start messing with them, because I don't like being played. And everybody is doing it now. It is like brand new. But now this whole blind date thing is happening, like Love is Blind and Married at First Sight, or just dating shows in general, like The Bachelor. I've actually never watched that show. I'm really not interested, but I keep seeing you guys comment The Bachelor in my comments. Shows like that are kind of like the new wave, realistically, and it is actually really interesting to watch. Now, when I first saw Love is Blind on Netflix, before I even clicked it to watch it, I kind of read the description and I was like, not interested. I kind of let it flow for like a week, and this was like a month ago when it first came out. And I saw it and I was like, I'm not gonna watch this because there's so many shows like this. But then out of nowhere, I was sitting at home bored out of my mind on my day off of work, and I was like, you know what, let me just check this out. So I started watching it and I was instantly in love. I knew it wasn't like any other show. And when I watched Nick Lachey come out and start talking about what the show is really about and how it's really an experiment, they weren't bullshitting us at all. I mean, like, maybe they were, maybe they made people portray people out to be something that they weren't. I don't know. But they weren't bullshitting us in the sense that this wasn't just everybody needs to find their love and everybody's gonna find someone. It was like an experiment. The whole show was an experiment. This is an experiment. I put myself out there, X, Y, and Z. And every reality show, producers make them say, not make them say and do things, but they kind of, like Lauren said, I don't know if you guys watched the interview by her, but she said she was not always talking about race. When they did talk about it, they would put that in the episode and make it seem like all she ever talked about was race and all Cameron ever talked about was race. And like, there was more to their relationship than that, obviously, and you guys all know that because it has nothing to do with their race. It just has to do with genuine love at this point. And we're in 2020 and love is love. And I think that Lauren made a good point in her live the other day when she said that, because it has nothing to do with race. Like, race was important in her situation because of her past and her history, but she didn't love Cameron because he was white. She didn't love her exes because they were black. It's just what happened. It's just how they started dating each other. I ended up watching it and I fell in love with the show, and there's just so many things about it that were just so good. Like, the way it was played out and the way the experiment was set up. Let's talk about the pods, okay? The pods are something that is like, it's so funny because pods is kind of like the internet. Like, you don't get to see someone, just don't know. You can only picture what these people look like by hearing their voice. That is something that's just in life. Like, I love studying people and interactions. They have to hear each other and picture. And in the entire season, they just talk about like, I have to picture the face. When I meet this person, I hope the face matches the voice. Jessica. They all were thinking about what each other looked like. The pods was something really, really cool, and I think that was a twist on the experiment. That's the epitome of 2020, honestly. People are often doing online dating and often blind dating that you just don't know anymore. And I mean, there's a safe way to do it, which is basically how the show did it. There's obviously not safe ways, like when you meet people online, you just never really know. That's why I always asked to FaceTime people when I was online. I always asked because I wasn't trying to get played. But I still got played anyway. Pods was a really good twist on this show. I don't know if you guys have watched The Circle, but if you haven't, make sure you guys watch that show next because that show is actually insane. It's kind of like Love is Blind, but they're not really finding love. They're just kind of seeing if they're really the person that they are they getting catfish or are they catfish. That show's really, really good. But I think Love is Blind was way better because of the love aspect. And everybody wants to watch a show where people fall in love. There's a happy ending. Sometimes not happy ending. The next couple I want to talk about is Giannina and Damien. I thought Damien was a great person. The first moment that they interviewed Giannina, I really thought that she was insane. There was something about her that's a little bit off. She does disclose that her parents' divorce really messed her up. And I mean, let's just face it, a lot of us have had divorces in our family or breakups in our family or deaths in our family. Like, things mess us up, but we got to start working on it. And she's 25 years old. She got to start working on it. And hopefully Damien is that person that will help her realize that she needs to fix it for herself. Not even for the relationship, but for her to just be happy and not always up and down. Because Chick was always changing her mind. I felt like Damien should have left her from jump. Poor Damien. I mean, I'm just going to call her Gigi. Gigi treated him like shit. Like, honestly treated him like shit. And he did not deserve that at all. And I really think that relationship is also a good representation of people's relationships in reality. People who have issues that they need to deal with before they find another relationship, or find out that they need, or find somebody else before they figure out themselves. Like, you can't love anybody else until you love yourself. And I say that all the time. I didn't love myself, so I was with people that didn't love me, like treated me like shit. And once I figured out who I was and how I loved myself, I'm in an amazing relationship. You have to really know how to love yourself before you can start dating anyone, or even going on a dating show and then messing with people like that. Like Damien, at the altar, when Damien said he couldn't, I did not feel bad for her. And I wasn't even expecting her to say yes. I just want to make that really clear. I was expecting her to say no and then him freaking out about it. But when she gave him that letter and was like, oh, how do you feel? Or like, what are you going to do? And then gave him some socks. I was like, all right, like, maybe she is going to say yes. And he was freaking out. He was literally freaking out, like hyperventilating. And I was like, all right, he's not going to say yes to this chick. And I wasn't surprised, but I was really happy that he said no. Then later to watch that he just wants her to get her shit together so he can eventually be with her. And I guess that's good because he's giving her another chance. And people like him, you need more people like him. Like, give people the chance to fix themselves. And if they have that time and they really just don't care and they don't try, that's when you leave. All right. Next up I want to talk about is Amber and Barnett. Honestly, when I first started watching Barnett, I was like, he was me in high school. Like, that dude is funny. He's a funny dude. So when he was playing all three of them, I wasn't surprised, realistically. I was like, yeah, typical. But as the show went on, I actually ended up growing and liking him. Like, I thought he was a cool person. And I thought he was really genuine. And I thought that the whole player thing was just a front, which it was. But you could tell that he really did fall for Amber in the beginning. And I wasn't expecting him to say yes to Jessica or even like Jessica or the other chick. I don't remember her name. TJ, LJ, RJ. She was kind of irrelevant. I was expecting him to say yeah to Amber. Amber is crazy. Whenever she came on the screen, I was like, I looked at my girlfriend. I'm like, I can't listen to her talk. I mean, she seems like a genuine person. And honestly, the way everything went down in the show, I think she was really blindsided by the whole thing, and I kind of wish that she paid more attention and details with things or asked a lot more questions, because she really got, like, she was embarrassed. Like, I think what Jessica did was very embarrassing. I think he could have spoke up a little bit more a few times, but I think for the most part, he was friend-zoning her over and over again, and she wasn't getting the hint. Amber really should have kind of stepped in at that point, put Jess in her place in the show and not afterwards. But again, she was minding her business. She was living her best life, and she was making the best of that experience. So I can't really blame her. So other than Amber being extremely annoying, I think that she was a genuine person. The next couple I want to talk about is Carlton and Diamond. I had a huge discussion about this the other day, whether or not I thought it was the right thing to kind of disclose whether he was bisexual to Diamond earlier or later on. I'm in the middle. Okay, I just think that love is love, and I think that he didn't even have to explain that he was bisexual before her. For me, I don't feel like he had to explain himself at all. He fell in love with her, and he was in love with her for a reason, and I think that she should have just accepted that. But I do understand where she's coming from, that he kept it a secret and wasn't completely honest. Another thing I think about, though, is she never asked. And most people don't have that question, like, did you ever date guys? Did you ever date girls? Like, I mean, if you're really worried about that, people would ask. But people who don't really care wouldn't ask. So I think that she didn't really care, which is why she didn't ask. And I think that he didn't really have to explain himself if she didn't ask. If you guys think otherwise, make sure you guys leave a comment below, because I'm really in the middle about this situation. And I want to hear other people's ideas about it, because I just feel like people who are straight don't have to say, hey, I'm straight. You know, I dated only girls before. I dated only boys before. You know, I just feel like he didn't need to explain himself. But I think because he kept talking about it in his interviews, they made it a huge thing. And then that's why it blew up at the end. I understand her frustrations when he disrespected her, because I would have punched him in the face if he ever disrespected me like that. So shout out to you, Diamond, for having your own back and standing up for yourself, because nobody, no man, no female, no one should be talking to you like that. That's a fact. But I do think that they should have gave each other another chance to kind of talk and explain to each other what was going on, because Carlton was getting really defensive, which I understand why, but he should have just kind of knocked on that wall and kind of took a deep breath and heard her out instead of flipping out the way he did, because I feel like that relationship could have eventually grown if they gave it the opportunity to. But I feel like they didn't give the opportunity to do that because of his emotions and how frustrated she was and how hurt she was for him not telling him everything in the beginning. Whatever you guys think about that couple, please comment below, because I'm just like, that couple wasn't irrelevant to me, but I just don't know what to say about that couple. The next couple I want to talk about is Kelly and Kenny. every time they came on the TV, I fast forward through their interviews and stuff because I thought they were irrelevant. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but I just thought their relationship was really, really boring. Till the episode when she brought him to meet her parents and her sister. And I called her an art teacher because she kind of looks like an art teacher, the sister. And she was silent, dead silent the whole time. Like, the parents were talking and she was just sitting there like looking at him like, she's not gonna marry you, dude. Like, I think she knew the whole time. I'm pretty sure Kelly told her the whole time, like, I'm not marrying this dude. He's my friend. Honestly, it was a snooze fest, and I kept fast forwarding. I just think that there's an interview that I watched that I just posted probably 2 videos ago about how Kelly said that before they reached the altar, they both agreed that they were going to say no. So I was kind of confused about that. I don't know if what she said was true. I don't even know if that's a real fact. But Kenny looked like he was genuinely hurt. And maybe he just agreed with it to see if she was really going to go through with it. I don't know where their minds were at. There was a lot of emotions and a lot of things going on. I don't know. I think Kelly just played him the whole time, realistically. I really think she played him the whole time and kept leading him on. And then just said no like that. And I thought it was really fucked up. If you guys have any comments about that couple, please let me know in the description because I just think that whole relationship was fucked up. I think that Kenny should genuinely be mad at what Kelly did because who leads someone on for that long? And I mean, it wasn't that long, but that's long enough, you know? Like, he could have made a match with somebody else there, but there was a reason why they matched. And the fact that in one episode before the end, she was like, oh, he reminds me of my best friend. It's like, why wouldn't you tell him that? And like, I don't know. The whole thing was messed up. And I really think that she's a fucked up person for that. But I feel bad for Kenny. And I hope that they finally could kind of squash it when the reunion comes. I think Kelly needs a lot of work as a person. All right, so the last couple that you guys have all been waiting for and I have a lot to say about is Jessica and Mark. Jessica. I think I'm going to talk about Mark first. Mark is 24 years old. He's my age and he's very mature for his age. But I think that he got very caught up in the fact that he met someone older and it was kind of like a fantasy for him. When I was 20, I was talking to someone that was 30 years old and I thought I was the shit. Like, I really thought I was. Like, realistically, like, it wasn't cool. And clearly there was something wrong with the 30-year-old. And there was. But he was down for everything that she was saying. Like, everything. And I think that he was a genuine person. He really did mean it. I really think that. But I think that he was also blindsided by the bullshit that Jessica was splurting out of her mouth every day. He should have left her from jump. In one of the episodes in the beginning, he said that he was not going to be a second option, and he was a second option about 17 times. And I made a whole video about Jessica playing Mark for 7 minutes straight. He was a second option. That's just a fact. Jessica, hold on, let me keep going about Mark. So I just think that he should have stood up for himself way more than he did. I mean, he did flip out a few times, but he always let her come back, and I don't understand why. And maybe there was more to that relationship than we were able to see on the show, and I'm only giving these excuses to maybe understand Mark a little bit more. I don't know. I'm just giving him some hope, and like, I don't know. What I saw, I thought it was bullshit, and I thought Jessica was a crazy bitch. Let's talk about Jessica. When she first came into the room, and I think the first date was with Mark. I think that was the first one that they showed in the whole series. I was like, wow, this girl's really pretty. Kind of thought her voice was annoying. Like, maybe she's not that annoying. Maybe she's a really nice person. She looks pretty because it was dark in there, so you couldn't really see anything. And I'm not saying she's ugly, but she looked really young. Like, I didn't expect her to be 34. She looked young with the makeup, the editing, all that stuff. Like, wow, this girl is genuine. Like, she's genuinely making this connection. And as time went on, I realized this chick was nuts. Like, had no idea what she wanted at age 34. She's been played before and she just wants to find the right one and she couldn't commit. She has a problem with committing, blah, blah, blah. You're 34 years old and you just like broke a 24-year-old's heart. I just want to say that first off. Barnett was only 27. Age matters, but realistically, like, you can be mature at a younger age and immature at an older age. And Jessica is a prime example of that. Mark was more mature than Jessica was. Yeah, she had her financials in a bag. Yeah, she had her job and her career. Yeah, she worked her ass off for that. And no one could ever take that away from her. But I think mentally, she's still in her 20s. There was one part when she was sitting with Mark's mom and the family and was like, he's 20. 20s were my favorite time period when I was 20, and I don't want to take that away from Mark. And it's like, I feel like she's still in her 20s mentally. I feel like she's still young and dumb, and she just wants any attention, and that's what happened. And when she gets all this attention, she doesn't know what to do with it. She craves for the attention, gets the attention, that doesn't know what to do with it, and then she gets rejected, does not know what to do with it. So at the part when she met Barnett and she fell in love after, I don't know how many days, I can't say it was after one date because, again, I don't know how they edited it, but after however many times she talked to him, knowing that she was falling for Mark and leading Mark on, I think that was all messed up, honestly. Barnett gave her the attention, but was also giving everybody else attention, and she knew that. Like, she heard it, and Amber heard it. They all heard it. But I think Amber, like, she kept saying that she knew it was, her relationship was different than all the rest of them. But Jessica got caught up in the fact that Barnett was a player. And most girls do. When you fall for a player and you're like, oh my God, they love me. And, like, she thought that he loved her and, like, he did not, you know. He probably felt a friendship with her. And I think that's why he was so confused. But she all of a sudden just thought, once she heard the age, 27, she thought because of the age it would change how Barnett thinks and how Mark thinks. But realistically, Mark was way more mentally mature at that time than Barnett was. And I think she liked that. She liked the player thing, so that's why she fell for him. I think the funniest part of the entire series, the funniest, was when she was like, let's play truth or dare. And he's like, okay. And she's like, all right, do you still feel the same way about me as you did yesterday? And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, wait, seriously? Yo, that shit was so funny. I was dying. I was like, she just got rejected, like, to the max. And she went in there all bubbly because she just messed something up with Mark. Coming in there with Barnett, thinking that Barnett was going to love her because she just friend-zoned Mark, and then she got played. And I thought it was karma. Like, I thought it was karma. And then she literally went back to Mark, and Mark was like, okay, really? All right, let's go do this. She's like, I just got so distracted and I didn't know what to do. And I'm like, bitch, like, honestly, you didn't get distracted. You knew what you were doing. You wanted someone else. They don't want you anymore. So now you're going back to somebody else. Like, you knew what you were doing. You weren't distracted. You knew from jump. So for you to sit there and be like, I was distracted and I didn't know what to do. It's like, come on, lady. Like, figure it the fuck out. Fitfo, figure it the fuck out because you are crazy. Like, she is just so crazy. And as the episode went on and she's just talking, all her interviews, like, it was like a car accident. Like, it was so bad, but you wanted to keep watching it. Like, it was tragic. Like, you hear her talking and you're like, this girl, like, your brain cells are dying and just dissimulating. And just, it was just like, she made no sense. Like, she went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And poor Mark had to deal with her shit. Like, he didn't have to deal with it, but poor Mark decided to deal with her shit. Just like the whole time you weren't all in with him, the whole time, up until the altar, and he's just sitting there like, played again, played the 15th time, played by you, Jessica. It just keeps going back and forth, and I'm just like, yo, this chick is on something else. Like, she needs some serious help. Just like Giannina. She just needed a lot of soul searching and figuring out herself. And at age 34, she wants a life, she wants kids, she wants this, she wants that. But you can't want, and not do. You can't have a family until you figure out why you want a family, or if you really do want a family, because she clearly didn't know that she really wanted a family. Like, she just didn't know. And then out of nowhere, she'd be like, he's the love of my life, he's the best person I ever met, and I love this guy, and I can't wait to see my future. It's like, bro. Again, you cannot be with someone until you figure out yourself. And she hasn't figured out herself for the last 34 years. So you should probably go figure it out and then go find someone. Stop playing with people's emotions, because Mark didn't deserve that. Mark did choose to go through that at a point. And it really is partly his fault too. But I mean, when you're young and you think someone's interested in you, and keyword, think someone's interested in you, so you're gonna fight for it, especially if they're older. You think like, oh my God, this girl has her life together, this boy has their life together because they're older, and blah blah blah. It's like, some of them really don't. So make sure you guys check the red flag. That show just showed, like, once one red flag pops up, more red flags. That's it. Make sure you guys comment below what you think about Jessica and Mark. And I've seen some of your comments and y'all have me dead. Like, and I'm not trying to bully her. I'm not trying to make fun of her. I'm just trying to, like, say, like, you went on national television and you didn't know what you wanted, which is, like, fine. It was an experiment, but you cannot play with people's emotions like that. You need to figure out yourself before you do something like that. And the internet's now talking about it because you put it in front of everybody, so you can't be mad that people are talking about it. That's it. Anyways, I just want to thank every single one of you guys who have subscribed the last day. I had over 120 subscribers over the last 48 hours, and I am so grateful for it. Honestly, I've been working my ass off on this channel. So if you guys want more content from me, make sure you guys leave a comment below what you guys want to see. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and hit that bell, because I usually post 3 times a week, but lately I've been posting at least 4 times a day, 3 to 4 times a day. So you guys are just getting content after content with me. And Honestly, the reunion's coming this week, and if you want, we can go live and talk about that too. So make sure you guys let me know. Thank you guys for everything. Bye.